Hαίrete, friends. Welcome to Classics in Color, your weekly dive into some of the ancient world's wackiest facts. I'm Mark Graves, and today we're going to be asking the question, what did people in the ancient world think of static? Ancient philosophers like Thales claimed that all things are full of gods, and other philosophers like Aristotle and Hippias also judged that there must be some amount of soul even in inanimate objects, citing examples like magnets and, of all things, amber. If you take amber and rub it in a cloth, you will quickly produce a lot of static electricity, and this will attract any loose particles in the vicinity. So if you've got some dust, feathers, hair, whatever in the area, it will be attracted to that cloth. And this was fascinating to ancient authors, and they'll often cite it as a curiosity. The ancient word for amber was actually electrum, and that is the ancestor of all of our modern words like electron, electric, etc. Pliny the Elder, for example, wrote about all the magical powers that amber seemed to have had, from attracting little bits of straw to detecting poisons. He writes that natural electrum also has the property of detecting poisons, for semicircles resembling rainbows run over the surface in poisoned goblets and emit a crackling noise like fire, and so advertise the presence of poison. I do not know if amber actually does react to any poisons and therefore could be used to detect it. So if any of you are chemists or poison experts, please let the rest of us know in the comments. People in the ancient world were in awe of substances like amber and magnets and generally did not try to explain them. As we saw earlier, there were some philosophers who would just say that there must be some soul, some divine force imbued into these materials. But there was one school of thought, the Epicurean philosophers, who attempted a slightly bolder explanation. They thought that the behavior of magnets had something to do with the rules regarding the fundamental elements of matter, what we would now call atoms. So let's look at a rather complicated passage, I will admit, rather intimidating, from the author Lucretius. It must be that very many atoms flow out from this magnet, or let us say a current, which by its blows beats away all the air that lies between the magnet and the iron. When this space is made empty and a large space becomes vacant between, and at once the atoms of the iron gliding forward into the empty space fall in a body together, and the result is that the ring itself follows and passes in this way as a whole. So like I said, it's a rather complicated passage and it goes on for quite a while. That is not the actual end of it, but it articulates this really bold and fascinating theory about the atoms of the magnet and of the iron creating some sort of force or field or current that can push and pull each other. And Lucretius uses this theory to claim that the behavior of magnets is not supernatural. It is just due to these natural forces. And so things like placing iron filings over a magnet, which everyone else at the time considered supernatural, are perfectly natural. The magnet sometimes repels, as with iron filings in a bronze bowl. Stone, being accustomed to flee and follow in turns. I have seen Samothrakian iron dance, and at the same time iron filings go mad in a bronze bowl when this magnet stone was applied underneath. So eager seems the iron to escape from the stone. Don't get me wrong, ancient philosophers said all kinds of crazy shit, but it sometimes baffles me how scarily good some of their guesses are. So I'm interested to see what you guys think about this video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Special thank you as always to subscribers and Patreon members, and I hope to see all of you again next week. Hαίrete.